Yo, what is going on, people? Welcome to Throwdown, episode 477. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I'm joined by Emilio Lopez.
What's up, people? How's it going?
Carlos Romero.
Yo, yo, yo.
Brian Manjoma.
What up, what up?
Richard Bailey Jr.
What's up, everybody?
And, of course, Mr. Brett Murdoch.
What up, people?
All right, man, we're back with another one. I was looking at the sound. For whatever reason, our intro music wasn't playing. But they can hear us right now. Very strange. I'm telling you, man, OBS has some bullshit, you know?
Yeah.
And that was after the update. You know,
Adam was right.
Yeah, it's on some bullshit, you know? Maybe I'm getting the Adam bugs now, you know? Yeah, I was fucking right.
You don't get Adam bugs.
Oh, yeah, nobody gets Adam bugs. Don't make any
sort of sense.
Nobody gets Adam bugs, man. Although I have been experiencing some kind of Adam-ish bugs with the MSI Claw, man. Can't get these fucking Intel drivers to install, of all things. You know? It's like, come on, man. What are we doing, bro? I think it's right behind me, too. But it's like, I want to like you, but the software sucks.
But you're making me not like you.
You're making me not like you, man. I'm making me not like you, you know?
You're making me want to install another operation system.
Apparently the trick is to stop the automatic Windows updates, because apparently those fuck with the Intel updates. Yeah. This is something regular people want to deal with for the gaming handheld, you know?
Exactly.
Like, what the fuck are we doing, bro? You know?
You don't like the whole reasoning, the whole idea about some of these devices is that it doesn't have all the overhead. It's a locked system. It does what it does, and that's what it does.
Yeah. Well, now, actually, the problem is it's a Windows. It's a Windows PC.
Yeah.
You know,
I gotta install this thing, and I gotta put this in there. I gotta make sure the drivers are all correct. No, nobody wants to deal with that shit.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's crazy, man. So yeah, I'll have a review of the MSI Claw eventually. You know, to give me a headache. Anyway, man, let's get into it. So this was a kind of a weird week in gaming. I'm not going to say there was like one narrative thing. Well, there could be if you look at things a specific way. But there was a bunch of stuff that happened. But we're getting into, I guess, the biggest one here everyone's talking about. 1943, Rise of Hydra. A brand new Marvel game written by Amy Hennig, which is pretty dope. We like Amy Hennig.
I think she's the game director. So
I believe so. Yeah.
It's nice to see her. I mean, it came out during the Unreal like engine sort of update.
It's Unreal.
So they're showing off a bunch of the new tech. Apparently, it's doing all kinds of crazy stuff. It's all running in real time, and they went in and showed. They showed a nice looking trailer, and it looks like CG. I'm like, okay, yeah, it looks like CG. Then obviously the thing to do is like, oh no, it's all running in real time, and they move the cameras around and they pull off the Black Panther's mask so you could see what he looks like underneath it. So
yeah,
and they show you the volumetric fog and lumen and all the bells and whistles that they got going on with the new Unreal Engine. Looks very nice as a cinematic, but good looking visuals don't always dictate a good game, but at least it'll look good.
Manny, that's the thing that was giving me pause this whole time. I mean, the presentation came out. Everyone was losing their minds on Twitter, apparently.
Yeah, they were going nuts.
And everyone, I can understand the premise, but people were like, I want to play this right now. I'm like, you want to play what? I don't know how this game plays.
What are you going to play, a cinematic?
Yeah, so I'm cautious about these kinds of things, as most of the Throwdown panel, not all the Throwdown panel. These, cinematics are nice, but it's hard to get someone that enthused about just a cinematic. You got to wait until you see how the game is actually going to be playing.
One thing that they never mentioned is a release date or what console it's going to be on, or when it's going to come out. All this stuff. It's just a proof of concept, a really nice looking proof of concept announcement video, and that's it. I mean, how long ago did Amy Hennig leave? What was it, EA, when she got let go, and then she moved to Sundance?
Yeah, Brett, what's up?
I was just gonna say, like,
bro, like it's so far like even beyond that at this point, in my opinion. Like we used to be at one time in life, we looked at the back of the box to look at the box art and see the video game pictures like on the back of the box to see if it kind of matched up. And then we entered a realm where, you know, we saw CG and we're like, okay, we need to see gameplay, and kind of saw gameplay and we're like, okay, I feel better about that. But like, I feel like we're beyond that now, because they will do like gameplay in an enclosed 30 by 30 foot space with pre-scripted events where like, yeah, they're moving the person around, but they're not playing an actual game. And then even when they do play an actual game, it's a build of a game that's smaller in scope and looks nothing like the final product that's released like 4 years later. Like, you could be showing me you playing a video game, and I still won't believe that's the video game I'm going to get until I see reviewers playing that video game. Like, trust has been broken. There's nothing at this point that these guys can do to make me be like, yeah, I'm sure the game is just like that.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all. I'm gonna ask a potentially very stupid question here. Who is Skydance New Media? You're muted. You're still muted.
On Discord.
On Discord, yeah, you got to hit the unmute. There you go.
Skydance is a company that's been around for quite a long time. It's they have quite a bit of like, you know, things in development. They have some of the people that they have there are like former Pixar people, and they sort of like, so they're making films and, you know, all kinds of other things.
What games have they made? If they've been around for a while, what games have they made?
It's I think the game stuff is actually the new thing, and that's when they got Amy Hennig. So, yeah, she joined Skydance. She joined Skydance in 2019. So, 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So
Barry Burton says, honestly, I couldn't tell if it was a game trailer or a Disney Plus show trailer. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Yeah.
You know, because Disney Plus is trash. Rich, what do you think about this trailer, man? Or whatever the hell they show. I don't even think you can call it a trailer.
Actually, one quick thing. A couple of things that Skydance has put together is the Mission Impossible films with with Tom Cruise. They did Top Gun. They did Jack Reacher. So there's a bunch of films that they put, movies that they were a part of.
Yeah. All right. Rich, what are your thoughts, man?
So this gentleman, Carlos Romero, took the words out of my mouth. It's not gameplay, so I don't care until I see gameplay. Now, like I said, I like Amy Hennig. I look forward to seeing whatever she's working on. All we know is that it's coming out next year, supposedly, if it doesn't get delayed. But this is all cinematic stuff. You know, I'm not really too much of a fan of seeing the cinematic stuff. I want to see what the game is going to be like. So hopefully we get to see that before the year is over. A glimpse of that, at least.
Yeah. No, but you're right. It's like, what platforms is this coming to? We weren't told that. The way motherfuckers were reacting to it on Twitter, you thought it was a PS5 exclusive.
I guess coming out tomorrow.
You know? They were hyping this shit up. What's up, Carlos?
So, yeah.
Manny, what is it?
Go ahead, Manny.
Okay, good.
No, mine's not important. Go, not important. Go ahead, Carlos.
Yeah, I just feel like, you know, this is just the wait and see type of game. You know, people can get hype and stuff. It's okay, but you know, as far as us, I don't know if no one's going to champion it until we actually see like what this game is going to be about. What type of game could it be? Could it just be a cinematic game? Like,
this game looks safe.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's a Marvel game based off of defeating Hydra and stuff like that. It's called Captain America and Black Panther. Yeah, it does.
I take that back. After all the recent flop superhero games, this game feels wildly unsafe. I changed my mind.
Well, just wait until you get the live action. Not the live action, live service aspect of it, and then we'll go back to the save area.
You know, how come Captain America in this looks like John Walker from the Disney Plus show.
From the show,
Yeah, doesn't he like with the chin?
The guy, the actor kind of does look like John Walker in general. Like I don't recognize this actor, but for a second, like I thought it was, oh hey, they got a Wyatt Russell to play him. It's like no, it's just a new guy.
It's interesting.
For a second, it gives you the idea of like, okay, is this like a CG animated MCU thing? Oh no, it's not. Why is Captain America there in the first place, and why does he look like John Walker? He doesn't look like what's his face, and then a bunch of other stuff. So it's
he has that John Walker chin.
It's giving you that sort of feel of that of the MCU stuff, but it's definitely not the MCU stuff.
Yeah,
Bro, also know, real quick, Brett. We know this game is not safe, Brett. You know why?
Oh no, why?
It doesn't have the haircut. Brian, you know what haircut I'm talking about.
Give it time.
You're saying that because you're saying that Kari Payton doesn't have a Killmonger hairdo?
You're right. Yeah, got it, Brian. Yeah, let's wait for it. That's true. But
we don't know what that soldier has underneath his helmet. So for all we know, it could be bad.
Even your Goat Game man has it too, man. It's one of the hair options in there. It's the Killmonger. It's in there. So when they put the character creator out, it's got the Killmonger. So
they went over the top when even Prince of Persia had it. I'm like, okay.
I feel like at that point in a lot of games started going into development, like in the 2019, 2020 era. I feel like a lot of games sort of, it's like, hey, this is a kind of a cool hairdo. All right, let's put it in, and then all those games are all coming out at around the same time.
Yeah, Watch this trailer again. I was watching it. Well, go ahead, bro.
Oh, I just feel that haircut is the result of people being like, "Yo, man, we've got to do some like diversity in that," but like I don't feel like actually doing their research into what was culturally diverse in the area at the time. So like, what are mumble rappers doing?
Yeah,
it's that's what it is. It's like it looks cool, but at the same time, it's like it's iconic hairdo that he had, kind of like almost like anime hair, but with dreads. But it's like at the same time, it's like you can do a little bit better. There's like I can do personally. Yeah, like to be honest, I liked Miles's hair from his game. I thought he had the nice short cut that he had. I thought that looked good.
Is that hairstyle for black characters the equivalent of like having that one like blue stripe for Asian women,
the line in there?
Yeah. Remember when that was a thing for a while? It's like every one of them had it,
Well, no, here's the thing. Not every game character had it.
No, I'm talking about in general.
Yeah.
Like you saw it everywhere. And even articles written about like, yo, what's up with this? Brian, what's up? What's going on?
I thought you could mention the other hairstyle for women where it's like half their head shaved and then suddenly the other half is long and combed over. Oh, that was just like suddenly every single female character and everything had that haircut.
Yeah, the side of the head shaved. Yep.
The side shaved.
So maybe this is like the black male version of that haircut where suddenly everyone has it.
Yeah.
It's just
I mean, again, like they can do better. They can literally look out there and see what folks are wearing. Again, and also like you could also you don't need to get too crazy. Like you could give them. Well, I mean, obviously T'Chaka, his dad.
There you go.
Right? There we go. I got it. So
it says his name is Azuri here.
Azuri. Okay.
That would be his he would be his grandfather.
His great grandfather. Okay.
Or grandfather, because T'Chaka would be his dad. Right?
I feel like with his hairdo, they just literally just gave him whatever Kari Payton had. Because if you look at him and they showed him in the crowd.
La chancla.
They gave him the cornrows like he has in real life.
Yeah. But yeah, again, it's like you guys are saying, it's like motherfuckers got hype for this. It's like, okay, but there's no game.
It's a good looking.
It looks good.
It's a good looking tech demo. But again, like yeah, we've seen all of this. Like you could look at the Matrix demo, right? That looks like a really great thing. You can actually play it too.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
where's the real things that have been done with this? Again, we keep seeing about all this Lumen, and we haven't really, and all this, like this live ray tracing stuff that Unreal has going on. But I haven't seen any single newer game, recent game that's supposedly running in this engine using any of that stuff. It's really just sort of looks like, but they even said it in their conference themselves. Oh yeah, Fortnite's already using a bunch of this stuff already, but Fortnite is not really. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Mop Hits asked, was that not in-game scenes? Well, it was in engine.
It was in engine.
It's in engine.
There's a difference between in engine and in game. Yeah.
There's a difference between in engine and in game. In engine just means that it's just running. It's just running all of the animation. It doesn't mean that there's no AI. There's none of the other stuff that goes on and that makes a game. And these are the things that you have to leverage whenever you're making a game. Like you can have amazing graphics, but you can't have it take over all of your essentially your memory budget. Because as soon as that happens, your game is not going to run good. And what is Digital Foundry talking about all the damn time? Games not running well, because they've literally they overreached the budget of space and memory and graphical, and as well as CPU, which has been talked about a lot these days, especially with the rumors of the new PlayStation, Pro. That is all a bottleneck. So
yeah,
we may see this game when it comes out and may not look exactly the same as we saw it this in the situation, because they obviously have this really beast PC sitting there. So obviously everything's going to run really good off of that. They want to make as nice of a impression as possible with it.
Yeah. So yeah, again, it's very, very difficult to get excited over a tech demo. It looks cool. Don't get me wrong, but this is going to be a game.
I'm excited for the potential. I like seeing that again. Like Amy Hennig has been essentially gotten the shaft by the game industry. It seems she was essentially working on a Star Wars game for EA, and then nothing comes out of it. Who knows how much of it was done? And then the other one. Like also Sundance also not only in addition to doing a
shout out to Mob Hits with Marvel, the bits.
Thanks. Them doing this this game. Sundance also has a Star Wars game, like a multiplayer Star Wars game in there, I think somewhere. So yep.
Sundance.
Yeah, Skydance.
Okay. I was like, hold on, what? All right. Any last thoughts on 1953 Rise of Hydra?
I just think
excited for the potential.
Yeah. Go ahead, Brian.
Potentially excited, but one of the things that irks me is this is the exact problem that your boy Jim Ryan, not Jim Ryan, Sean Layden was talking about. It's like, this game looks very expensive, and to me that's a big issue because, again, we have no idea how long this studio could keep this up for if it is going to be expensive as some people think it might be. Because again, it doesn't look like, well, I don't know, what's a cheap game? Like, it doesn't look like Power World, It's very different. You can say that. So it's very fair to assume that they've thrown a lot of money into this game. And again, we don't know how much, obviously, no one said. But to me, that's a big concern. Then it's like, this is the exact problem that people are saying that, hey, if games are just going up in price, then yeah, you'll get these every 10 years or something. So I don't know. That's just my point, that I'm just not too happy about that. Again, it could be a great game. It could be very well done and have lots of great stuff in there, but I don't think it will be. Again, Carla says that it's not a very safe game. I think it'll be highly safe. I'm expecting basically Uncharted with shields and superpowers. So
yeah. That's what I'm expecting. Like a pretty much Uncharted with Captain America and Black Panther.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm like, this is like they have 2 games in development, Skydance, and I feel like in general they want to prove that themselves with this. That's part of the reason why they probably picked up somebody like Amy Hennig, who's known for making sort of cinematic sort of games. They're a studio that makes a lot of films that are, in that, a lot of well-known films. They've done, what is it? They did, the Mission Impossible's, Top Gun, a bunch of other things. So I feel like they're sort of going with those ideas. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. It's hard for me to get excited over a fucking trailer, even if a trailer looks nice, and other factors. I'm like, we'll see about this game, bro. All right, let's move on here. This could turn into a dunking contest. I can't help that, but it is what it is. One of the big things that happened this week was what happened at Kotaku. They lost yet another editor-in-chief in less than a year. Very interesting.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Yeah, what will we do without Kotaku? So basically, this woman called Jen Glennon, she was the editor-in-chief after Patricia Hernandez. I forgot if she was, I think she was fired. I could be wrong about that. But people didn't like it. Anyway, so she left, and then she took to Twitter, as these people tend to do, to complain about the parent company that fired her. Or actually, she left because of the parent company. Basically, they run Kotaku now, or own them, and they basically want Kotaku to focus less on news and more on guides. And she wasn't happy about that. And then obviously, people took this as an opportunity to dunk on Kotaku for obvious reasons. And then some other Kotaku writers started calling out fans. Brett, a lot of echoes of something that happened 10 years ago. We're in a full-blown sequel now, which is very interesting.
It's insane. Just stop attacking your fan base. Oh my God.
How difficult is that? The fans that read your stuff? Don't attack them. It's that simple.
I think the thing about it is, as far as their numbers go, these guys know what things people look at on their site. And if they're seeing that a lot of people are looking at guides or looking at video guides and all kinds of other things, that's what they're going to start to push for. Yeah. The question is, it's like, you got also, one thing you have to understand about any of these sites is they're a business. And if the thing says, if the zeitgeist says that they want more guides, then you move toward more guides. And that's just the plane of it, Yeah. If your articles are not, if your mainstay articles that you have your people and your staff writing are not pulling in traffic, that means that something needs to change. And no matter how much you believe in something, how much you believe it, the numbers don't lie, as Chris says. So yeah. I mean. It's unfortunate that she felt that she couldn't do that she couldn't perform that sort of duty, but at the same time, it's maybe she needs to go somewhere where that sort of where that sort of idea is better. But again, or she could create her own site and do that sort of thing. But at the same time, it's like these guys are the heads of this company are seeing that they're not getting the numbers that they're supposed to be getting when they're putting out these articles. They're not getting people to look at their ads, and that can be a problem. And I'm sure as much as when we've seen a lot of these sites kind of similar to this is Kotaku, similar to this isn't the first time Kotaku has gone through the ringer of essentially just being sold to some other company.
Yeah,
they've been kind of ping-ponged around quite a bit for a few years now, so they really need to sort of think about that sort of thing. You know?
Yeah. So I want to read what she says. Very interesting quotes here. After careful consideration, I have concluded that the current management structure and decision-making process at Geo Media are not aligned with my values and goals for Kotaku. I firmly believe that the decision to, quote, invert Kotaku's editorial strategy to deprioritize news in favor of guides is fundamentally misguided given the current infrastructure of the site. This decision is directly contradicted by months of traffic data and shows an astonishing disregard for the livelihoods of the remaining writers and editors who work here. All right, let's unpack that a little bit. So she claims that these guys are going against Kotaku's traffic, right? So, you know, if we're going to take her at her word, I think it's more Geo going, this is what's doing better for other sites. Let's do that here, which, again, makes business sense, right? And then the last part, I have to be that guy. I have to be that guy. She goes, this is it's affecting our livelihoods. Work somewhere else.
I mean,
dude, hold on. Do they get paid by the click? What do you mean it's affecting their livelihoods? It sounds like the people who pay you are telling you to do something, so you do that thing, and they pay you. What am I missing?
I mean, that's generally how things work. You go to work, you're expected to do something, and you do it. And if you don't do it, you're gone.
Yeah, that's
what am I missing here?
It's like that's any job under the sun. Like, again, here's the thing. Obviously, she didn't like what had to be said, and she chose to leave, which is fine. I just think like I don't understand how it's affecting the livelihood. It just means that you need to sort of that there might need to be a pivot. There again, what is the goal of getting of a site like that? To get traffic so people see your ads. That's the main thing. So if people are not looking at your ads, or people are not clicking through, or people are not doing all that stuff, that means that there's some sort of issue there. Yeah. So maybe they probably see something that's going on, like on IGN. IGN does create more guides. There's quite a bit of those sites that sort of just do guides, in addition to their editorials. And then also, like, under her leadership, wasn't there a lot of retraction of titles of articles?
It's hard to say because she was only, I think there was, but I think that was more with Hernandez. Because remember, this woman's only been editor-in-chief for 5 months. Like,
oh, okay. I thought this was the original one. The one
you're talking about Hernandez. One. Yeah. This chick was only there for 5 months since October.
Okay, I smell hooey. There's the math here doesn't add up.
Uh-oh.
Well, look, if you're telling me, hey, this website, I guess, is going a direction that, contrary to what clicks and our data is showing, is going to get less traffic. Again, you're getting paid by the click, or you're getting paid by the article. As long as they're paying it, maybe they're willing to take a dip in foot traffic to change the direction for something more long-term sustainable. That's technically and literally, that's above your fucking pay grade, right? So, but here's the part that I don't understand. So you're worried that doing this direction may result in less foot traffic, so that down the road, your job may be in jeopardy, so you quit? Like, that's just out of the frying pan into the fire, man. Like, that this can't just be about, like, oh, I didn't agree with the direction because it was it has less financial success and viability. Like, that's not the reason. It has to be a moral grandstanding, I'm assuming, right? Like, because otherwise it just doesn't make sense. If you're looking at it from, I'm disappointed in a business sense, that just doesn't make sense.
No, I agree with you. You're right. That's pretty fishy, isn't it? It's like, wait, you're worried about losing your job, then you leave your job. What? How does that work? What's more important here, your livelihood or your potential political stance? We're talking about Kotaku here, after all.
I mean,
that's what it feels like.
I mean, here's the thing. Like,
I'm with you, man.
I believe it's like, in general, like, if you don't believe in in the direction of your whatever company that you're working for, obviously you do have the right to leave.
Yeah.
But you also have to understand is that, again, like, at the same time, this is also a business, and your main priority as working for a company is, and what is your job to do, is to get people to come to your site. And if you believe that the new direction, here's the thing. Like here's the thing: the higher ups at of that other company could be totally wrong about doing guides. They could go totally guide oriented and utterly destroy the site. But you didn't even give it a chance. You didn't go in and say, okay, you know what? All right, let's try to find a compromise. Let's do a little bit of this and that, and see if we can get this to work. That's what most people would do, especially if you're working at a job. Here's the thing: leadership doesn't always have the best ideas. This is common throughout all industry, right? But if you don't give it a chance and try it out and see and essentially create your checks and balances and be like, hey, listen, you see, these guides are not working. They're not getting any more traffic than our editorials. So let's see if we can pivot back. Again, sometimes leadership needs to see seeing is believing with a lot of these guys, right? They'll make these decisions. They're like, hey, look, so and so's doing it. Why don't we do that? And they're getting a lot of traffic. But then when you go down the line, you're just like, oh, okay, see, it didn't work out. See, and that's it. But I feel like it almost feels like she didn't want to give it even a chance.
That's what it sounds like, yeah.
Yeah. She's just like, no, I don't want to do it. This is not what I got in the industry for. I don't want to do guides.
This is interesting. I'm looking at Kotaku's website right now. The front page is a fuck ton of guides. Very interesting. A lot different than it used to be,
Maybe they realized that instead of telling their customer base that they're awful, maybe they just tell them how to get to level 5.
10.
I'm really curious to see what a editor-in-chief of a certain website thinks about this.
Uh-oh. Let's see if he takes the obvious prompt. Not the bait, the obvious prompt. All right, Rich, get in here, man. What do you think? Got to be explicit about it,
Uh-oh.
I'm a little confused as to what what is the question that he posed to think what I think about this situation.
Oh.
Oh, my opinion is just of a mere mortal. I've never had experience in this, but as someone that does have experience in these kinds of things, I'm curious to know what you think about all this fiasco.
Well, first and foremost, my honest opinion, I don't give a damn about Kotaku. But obviously, there's more going on behind the scenes. But I don't know what's going on with the drama. There could be a reason she left, or so on and so forth. But I wish her well. But I don't care anything about Kotaku, IGN, or any of these other sites. That's just my opinion.
Damn right.
And it seems like
Rich is all punk rock now. It's like, fuck the police, man.
That's funny. Hey, Brian, do you think this may be related to sugary infants, as I'm going to call them now?
I have no idea. Anything's possible these days, but ever since, I actually don't think I've ever liked Kotaku, as far as I remember. Just going back to even what they were doing in the past. So
I would say the early days.
Let him finish.
Early days of Kotaku. Oh, sorry. Okay.
I mean, the past is 10 years ago. I've just never enjoyed their content. I always found it to be they're just reblogging someone else's stuff or reposting a video that some guy did on YouTube or something. So I've never liked them. And then something happened a long time ago, and then I liked them even less. And then ever since then, I've never read them. And every time they popped up, I just ignored it. And then last I remember, is it Kotaku Australia went down? And then I was like, this seems like the start of the end, and maybe it is. Yeah, good luck to them, I guess.
I would say, to go back to some sort of what I was saying before I started interrupting. I'm sorry about that, but definitely like to be honest, over 10 years ago, like 2006, that era of Kotaku, I feel like was kind of like the punk rock, kind of like we're for the gamers sort of era, where they used to like literally spot out injustice in gaming and stuff like that with when it comes to fans. Like, I'll tell you this, I mean, back years ago, and it's too bad Adam's not here, but years ago I was I created a Gears of War figure for Adam for Christmas. I didn't have a lot of money, and I just I made everybody in my family some sort of gift, and I made Adam this Gears of War Marcus Phoenix figure. I posted it online, and I literally got a cease and desist from Epic Games' lawyers, saying that I was illegally using their franchise. I was using the whole gamut. And what me and one of my co-workers, when I was working, at a studio at the time, we just sent it over to Kotaku, and they posted it up, and they did a few editorials. Like they already reported on my original thing before, and then they reported this, and this thing caused such a big hoopla that literally Epic Games came back to me, emailed me and said, "Hey, listen, we're really sorry about all this stuff." This wouldn't have happened if it hadn't gotten to that attention. And I wasn't even the only one that was getting a cease and desist from Epic crazy ass lawyers who's just throwing cease and desists out like water. So I feel like the Kotaku of that era seemed to care more about the people that are playing. They seem to be more about that was back in the days when they actually used to answer their little the forums on the bottom. Back in those times. Now it's definitely separation of church and state. Does even Kotaku even have a
Yeah, they still have comment section. Yeah, they still have them.
The comment section,
yeah.
But they don't nobody looks at the comments in there. Nobody ever gets in the weeds of that or that stuff anymore. So it's like separation of church and state. It's like two different points. You're as opposed to talking with people like it was back in the old days. You're talking at people.
Yep.
And I think that's the biggest shift in games media. Now it is that sort of idea of like it's us versus them. Oh, we're the high cast. We're the ones up top. Oh, this is what you should be playing. And nobody ever wants to be talked down to. And I feel like that's a lot of what happens across
I don't
across
pick
the board
up swag.
Exactly. Yeah,
Luke
remember
Plunkett,
that one?
Kotaku.
Mr. Luke Plunkett. Oh, I don't pick up swag. I receive it.
Yeah.
No, man. Listen, the fact that you get anything you should be thankful for. And me, Tony, and Rich, and all the guys on this show, we know what it's like to work in the weeds, and they don't give you shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
And what did we do? We went out there, we bought our own fucking games and reported on them. That's what the fuck we did. So,
it's kind of interesting, like our experience, like your experience and my experience with Kotaku, I'm talking about on a personal tip, wildly different, separated by a good year. So, Kotaku, when they were actually a good site, they helped you out, right? Whereas with me, again, I've told the story a million times, but I'll say it again for, because just like Stan Lee always said, every comic is somebody's first comic. Every Throwdown episode is somebody's first episode. So when I first joined SCFU and played, this was like fucking 3 months into it, right? Chilling, and this was like 2 a.m. And I saw a commercial, like a Bridgestone commercial, I believe it was, that had the actor, that was Kevin Butler in it. And what was interesting about the commercial is, he was hawking the Nintendo Switch, I believe, at the time, right? So I'm watching a commercial, and he wasn't hawking it. He was just doing regular stuff. I'm like, oh, that's kind of interesting. No Nintendo Switch stuff. No Nintendo Wii stuff. So, DVR, rewound it, captured it with my phone, sent it to Torrance. I'm like, yo, we should do a story on this. This is pretty interesting, So we post it, and as a joke, and this was on Thursday, as a joke, I said, hey, watch Kotaku steal this shit by Saturday. Guess what happened Saturday morning? Motherfucking Kotaku did a story on, hey, Kevin Butler, whatever, altered commercial, whatever, right? No citation, No, use our video, no citation whatsoever. You know, and this is Torrance. He gets on Twitter, starts just adding Steven Totillo at the time, going ham. You know, at him.
And you forgot the last one.
No, I didn't. I didn't forget anything. I'm not done with the story yet. While Torrance was going off on Steven Totillo, I added Owen Good, who wrote it, and I'm like, hey, you know, we would appreciate. You know, I was professional. You know, I was like, I would appreciate a citation. You know, I recorded this. That's clearly from our YouTube. Can you please give us a credit for this shit? And they did. You know, but they wouldn't have done it if we didn't raise up a fuss, you know?
No, there was another part that was missing to that part.
What?
Remember
What was
the little Ghostbusters thing?
That was another guy.
Drawing of that?
That was another guy. That was another guy.
That was another guy?
That was not Kotaku. That was something else.
Yeah. Okay, I thought it was the Kotaku guy. Yeah.
No.
The thing about it is...
Yeah, no, that was basically this other website. We reported on some gaming thing that was happening in Saudi Arabia. And then this dude talked about it. No citation again. Like, no, they didn't cite us. So this is back in the early years of Throwdown. We didn't give a fuck. So Manny took an image of this guy, made him like a Ghostbusters thing. Like, fuck this dude. You know, we wouldn't be doing stuff like that now, obviously. We were like, and he backed off. You know, he gave us credit and all that. He apologized. We're like, fuck this dude.
Well, because that dude didn't even dignify us with a friggin' reply.
Nothing.
He just sort of was like, whatever, fair game. And no, boy.
Yeah, he changed his tune after we did that podcast on him. Throwdown, we didn't give a fuck in the early days, man.
No, we did a podcast on him, and then we did a whole thing like say no to like a whole campaign, say no to somebody.
Yeah,
we
to that dude. Yeah,
put that drawing of him.
Yeah.
Oh man! Back in those days, when people are all pushing like we're talking about diversity, we're a diverse thing, and we have a bunch of these white people stealing our shit.
Yeah,
nobody talked about that shit.
It'd probably be a bigger deal now, but this was 2012, so it still wasn't a thing yet. You know. Yeah. So
so they could just rip off the site with a majority of minority writers, and they could just call it a day because nobody ever heard of us.
Yeah. Pretty interesting stuff. Anyway, the more of the story is Kotaku sucks. By the way, shout out to Chris who joined in. Chris, have you been watching this whole Kotaku situation with their editor-in-chief resigning because they want to make Geo Media wants to make the site more about guides?
Yeah, I wonder why they want to make it more about guides. Maybe the politics isn't working,
Yeah.
And then they look at Deadspin and they go, "Oh shit, maybe we gotta change things up here," But as usual, she left like a professional, right?
Of course she did. Yeah, but Jesus, man. She just went ham, and you weren't here. I asked Brian, do you think this may be related to sugary infant?
Yeah, probably. I don't doubt it. That thing has blown up so spectacularly. Yeah. It's like rippling out of a fucking pond, but it's like a boulder fell in the lake.
Yeah,
just going everywhere.
It's very interesting. We got a sequel to Gamergate, isn't that something? We got a sequel to it. Remember, we've been getting so many sequels lately. Why not this too? Fucking Ghostbusters. We got a book sequel for that. X-Men's back. Like, okay, let's bring Gamergate back too.
Beetlejuice.
There you go, man. Nothing. No original ideas.
Beetlejuice.
Isn't it Homegirl Wednesday? She the new Lydia now.
She's the daughter of Lydia.
Yeah,
she's the daughter of Lydia.
Okay. All right. Anyway,
and they killed.
Anyway, so let's move on. Seeing about dunking. Oh my God. PSVR 2, people. So Sony is reportedly pausing PSVR 2 production to clear excess inventory because no one's buying this shit.
It's too fucking expensive.
Too expensive and no backwards compatibility.
I'm sorry.
No backwards compatibility.
What's up, Brett?
I'm sorry, I was muted. You didn't hear my shock. Let me do that again.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah. Look, here's the thing. Like, how did PSVR squeeze through last time? They didn't. They
cheap.
obviously knew. Yeah, it was cheap. They obviously knew that it wasn't going to hit like crazy numbers, so they didn't produce a lot. So it was profitable and it overreached their projections. I'm sure they didn't expect it to do very well. But, under that new regime, they're like, "Oh, well, the last one did good, so let's put out this premium thing." No, don't do that. If you're, to be honest, you are a consumer product. So what do? You hit a lower thing to get people in, and that's the way you do it. And the backward compatibility thing, which was a huge mistake, because you buy this silly thing, and then what do you got to play for it, right?
Yeah, nothing.
Like whatever ported stuff that they decided to port over, but no, it should literally work with all those other previous games.
So yeah, big misstep there.
Wah.
It's very reminiscent of the Vita in some ways.
And now it all comes out. Jimbo's folly. That's what all of this a lot of this generation is. Good thing they were actually. Good thing they were making some, because they were at the center of the zeitgeist when it comes to consoles. But you see, when all of this shit comes down the line, it's all the Tower of Babel is all crumbling underneath it, because it was never. Things don't. Yeah, you can have good faith, but if you're not continuing to do the things the right way, that's when things start to fall. And Jimbo, just decided, okay, I'm gonna squeeze out the back door while nobody's looking, see how bad, so nobody blames me for how bad this shit fucking blew up.
Yeah, so basically they have an excess of over 2 million units, so they're pausing production so they could clear inventory.
Yeah,
I think you're not going to be producing these anytime soon.
I don't think so. This was more than a Sony toe dip they did in this situation, and you see what happened.
So nailed it. Rich, you going to say something?
Yeah. So I have a question for everybody on the panel as well as everybody listening to the show. What the hell game are you going to buy for PlayStation VR 2, which makes them think they're going to clear inventory?
I
haven't heard no announcements. Nothing. Nothing.
Obviously, Horizon Zero Dawn, the blah, 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 blah. Whatever the hell that thing is called.
Yeah, no, I mean, the fact, Rich, that we can't even answer the question answers the question,
See, I was thinking that Chris was going to say, well, Resident Evil, right? Resident Evil 4 VR. That's going to be the saver. Yes.
What are we doing, man? And then, you have other systems that are cheaper out there that have backwards compatibility,
Yeah. Like all the HTC Vive things work. All the Meta Quest stuff, all that stuff works. All their previous titles work. Why is it that this doesn't work?
All right, let's look up the Meta Quest.
I'm sorry,
How much
guys.
Is this shit? Meta Quest is not only is it $50 cheaper, but it's fully backwards compatible with the Meta Quest 2.
There you go.
Yeah, go ahead, Ben.
Speaking of the Meta Quest 2, since you just mentioned that, they actually dropped the price today, so now it's $199.
That's right. Oh, so you have options. You have options.
Oh yeah. Again, it's a consumer product. You should, if you're talking about regular consumer products, you're not going to have like extravagant prices. You want people to get in on it, so don't charge them a lot of money to do this shit.
Yeah, it's fucking insane, man. Yeah, I don't think they're going to run out of this inventory anytime soon, to be honest. They're probably going to be holding it for the rest of the year, How's that inventory on that PlayStation remote play device? I'm sure they're going to have an excess of those things too. Oh man.
Unless they were smart and didn't produce a lot.
They're going to have to drop the price of this thing if they want to start moving it. Basically, remember what they had to do with the PS3? They had to slash that price,
Slash that price.
Gotta do something, That's crazy. And then this is obviously amidst Sony, firing 900 people,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is just like it's all crumbling after Jimbo left,
It's not crumbling because he left. It's crumbling because he had
after, yeah.
The essentially the structure that he built, that he built there, it was unreliable. It was garbage.
Yeah.
Like, again, why we go back to what they said? They literally canceled a bunch of games, and they said they had 12 of those service games. Was this era was this the time when all those service games were supposed to drop? Now,
not sure.
When they said that there's not going to be any sort of first party titles.
Yeah, it's the thing. We're not getting any. So, and that has to apply to PSVR 2, doesn't it? No new titles. It applies to that as well.
Yeah.
So what are you getting for $550? Like Rich said, what is the killer app? There is none. Let's just be real.
Yeah.
Let's be real here,
Yeah.
So yeah, PSVR 2. I don't think anyone will miss you.
Yeah, I definitely don't think it's gonna. They're gonna. I think it's gonna be a huge loss for them.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. Now this story is interesting. To me, this is some baller shit. This is like, my work here is done. I'm out. Okay, obviously we know Game of the Year last year was Baldur's Gate 3. Everybody loved it. Big game. So, what you would think would naturally happen is like, oh shit, Larian, man, they're going to do another one. Larian said, we're done. This was no DLCs, no Baldur's Gate 4. We are done. We're moving on to do some other shit. To me, that's some baller ass shit. It's like leave while you're hot. And Brett, you're obviously the big. Go ahead, Manny. That Brett. Go ahead, yeah.
The thing about it is now they because they're now the zeitgeist. Now because they won this award and they got a critically acclaimed, they did really well. They can dump the Dungeons and Dragons franchise, so they don't need to pay Hasbro.
They said no more D&D
licensing
either. Yeah.
Fee.
Yep.
Yeah, and they own their engine. They own all of the things in there. The things in there. So they'll probably go back to their original title. What was that one?
Divinity. Yeah.
Divinity. Woo.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
It's probably going to be Divinity, and then in the marketing, it'll just be from the creators of Baldur's Gate.
You already know
Divinity. Yeah.
So, Brett, what's your take on this? To me, this is some baller ass shit, man.
My biggest take is Wizards of the Coast is a fucking dumpster fire. I think distancing yourself and being like, hey, we're done. Because I think they paid out the nose for the rights to do that. And I think part of it came from the fact that Wizards of the Coast told them back in the day that no, they couldn't do Baldur's Gate 3. So they went back, they ate their spinach, they made their games, and then they got to make Baldur's Gate 3. But I don't think that being shackled to Wizards of the Coast is doing them any good. And I think that at this point, they recognize it. So they're going to take the win, and they're just going to be like, yeah, because Wizards of the Coast, they're doing a whole bunch of stuff that is tying Larian to the dumpster fire that is Wizards of the Coast.
Yeah.
And things like Wizards of the Coast being like, half-orcs are racist now. You're like, wait, what? Like, oh, orcs are racist because they're representative of a certain group. And you're like, I feel like just saying that is actually the racist part. I feel like feeling that, looking at orcs and being like, who that reminds me of? I feel like that's actually probably racist right there. But, you do you, boo, I guess. So D&D is going through a big transformation where they're kind of rebranding and even have the head game developers have said things like, their original D&D game would never survive this scrutiny and pass to publication with the conditions that they have now. So, everything about D&D is going terrible. And even, down to, I'm pretty sure D&D was trying to launch a live service tabletop kind of simulation where you could move a piece from A to B and do all this stuff. Basically, think virtual D&D game board, right? And then Larian comes along with a fully developed game system with fully customizable characters and with just a little bit of tweaking, just a fucking little bit of tweaking, and giving people the creators pack, where if players had the tools that Larian had to build this, it would bankrupt Wizards of the Coast's project that they're trying to put out. And so Larian has been sticking the stick in their own fucking bicycle spokes and fucking with Larian, because they're afraid that Larian and the popularity of this game is going to undermine what they consider to be a great pay-to-win scheme to wring money out of their customers. And you find yourself in a very interesting situation where their own customer base fucking hates them, and they kind of resentfully use the product, but most of the time break away, and they're finding other places to play their tabletop adventures outside of branded Wizards of the Coast stuff. So it's real interesting. It was a bad time for them to be in.
I mean, like, there's so many options open to them now. Like, but I think the biggest thing is that I think Larian is just going to take everything that they sort of did with this game, and then it just runs back into their title that they don't need to pay a licensing fee for.
Yeah.
Yeah, and with the prestige that they now have, so they're already like, the darlings of the industry, so they're good. But I also feel sorry for whoever makes Baldur's Gate 4, because it's going to be compared to Baldur's Gate 3. That's going to be fucking brutal, man.
I mean, we're not getting one for 20 years.
Yeah, that's true. But
that's
man.
That's the weird thing. Despite Baldur, and here's what baffles me about it. Wizards of the Coast, this is probably one of the most successful franchises of anything they've had in a couple of decades, right? They've effectively broken into a new medium. But instead of follow that and follow what the customers are going to want, they're just going to go and do their own thing and then forget that this wildly massive success ever existed. They're not going to try and get somebody to make Baldur's Gate 4. They're not going to try and do more licensing out to video game companies. They're just going to kind of be like, well, we got our money from that, and move forward, because they're like Nintendo in a lot of ways. It's just, it's dumb. You'd think they'd be like, wow, this would be like a whole franchise of thing. No, this is going to be a one-shot thing for Wizards, because they're too fucking worried about how they can milk more money out of their Magic the Gathering fans.
Oh, man. Yeah,
I mean, it makes sense, too, when you think about, some of the predatory bullshit, like Magic the Gathering, they make so much money on that. They make so much goddamn money.
Yeah. All right. Next up, what are we talking about? This one's interesting. So, and this kind of comes to us from our boys over at Digital Foundry, because they did a whole video breaking down the potential specs of the PS5 Pro. By the way, there's multiple sources that are saying, yeah, those reports are true. They're all true, including Digital Foundry. So obviously it's still a rumor, but it seems like this is going to be a thing that happens later. Sir. But we're not going to talk about that, since we already did on the last show, talk about the PS5 Pro. But this is what they said, and this we discussed it too. We were worried. It's like, wait, if the CPU is only 10% more powerful, isn't that going to be a bottleneck? That seems to be what Digital Foundry believes, and to that extent, they believe that GTA 6 will not be able to run at 60 frames a second on this quote unquote powerful machine. Very interesting, because I remember reading an earlier report saying, the game will run at 60 frames per second on a PS5 Pro. Obviously, all that's rumored or whatever, but this Digital Foundry, they're kind of the gods of this stuff. Very interesting. So I'm going to read this. Our boy Richard Ledbetter said this. And I'm reading this from IGN. According to Digital Foundry founder Richard Ledbetter, speaking in the latest episode of DF Direct, that's their podcast, the PS5 Pro's CPU means GTA 6 will probably run at 30 frames a second, assuming GTA 6 runs at 30 FPS on the standard PS5. Given no GTA game has ever launched with 60 FPS options on console, this one seems nailed on. Yeah, I mean, that seems about right. So it's like, what are you buying this console for? You know? It's crazy, man. Real quick, and then Carlos, you can jump in. According to Ledbetter, if GTA 6 runs at 30 FPS on PS5, it'll run at 30 FPS on PS4, PS5 Pro, barring some kind of programming miracle, because the CPU handles simulation and the PS5 Pro's CPU will only increase its performance by 10%. In the unlikely event GTA 6 has 60 FPS mode on PS5, it'll run at 60 FPS on PS5 Pro, which makes sense. If what the weaker one can do, the more powerful one will be able to do as well. Easier. Anyway, go ahead, Carlos. What's up?
Yeah, I feel like this is sort of similar situation to last time. But last time, remember, we're going from 1080p to 4K.
Yeah.
And that's why the GPU bump helped out a lot. Because a lot of people were getting new 4K TVs, and the PS4 and the regular PS4 was more of a 1080p system.
Yeah.
So that was the whole thing with that. But now we're still at 4K. No one's getting 8K models. So now we're seeing the issue with the bottleneck of the CPU being the same thing. And at 10%, it's just on boost mode, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. So
that's not even a standard thing. It's only if you allow it to do that. So yeah, it's I'm not surprised that it's going to be the same, because a lot of when it comes to frame rate, it's a lot of the hampering is sort of the AI stuff, the multi physics stuff in the world and all that, and in draw distance, and a lot of CPU intensive tasks, and the GPU is more of a grinded out sort of how do you say it, brute force sort of method of computing.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of cores, but it doesn't do a lot of the complex stuff that the CPU does. And if the CPU is going to stay the same, then most of the stuff like physics and all that is going to stay the same in the games.
Yeah. So expect a modest update at best.
Yeah.
Can I make a quick comment about this?
Of course.
So I would like to provide a correction to Digital Foundry. Grand Theft Auto 6 will run 60 frames per second. ... When it comes to PC in 2035. Yeah. There you go. Because it's going to take Rockstar a good while to bring this to PC. So yes, that's when you'll see it'll perform better and all this other stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I added that stipulation. Like, it's always been 30 FPS on console. Let's just be real here. But yeah, this is obviously not looking good for the PS5 Pro. So I don't know, man. I don't know.
So,
what's up?
A quick question for you guys, as well as the listeners. So, if you are getting a PS5 Pro, to answer Tony's question, what game are you going to get this system for? Because obviously we're going to be waiting until 2025 to get the major first-party franchises, as they say. So,
yeah, try to play, the Final Fantasy games, hopefully in 60 frames, By the way, they're releasing another patch for FF7 Rebirth for the, performance mode. It's crazy, man.
Well, Rich, I can't answer this for the people in this chat, because because no one other than probably Tony's going to get it, and Tony will probably just get it for the review purposes.
Yeah,
his job. So
yeah, exactly. It's like wait, that's coming to the office. I don't need to buy this thing. I'll be able to see for myself. It's like, is this worth me buying personally or not? But yeah, again, the more I learn about this, the less excited I get.
But to answer Rich's question, as far as sort of a mass audience response, just wait for it, man. Last of Us 2 remake.
Oh God,
no, hell no.
Jeff Keighley's gonna announce it in Summer Games Fest. I can see it in the streets. Last of Us 2 remake made specifically for fucking PS5 Pro. Obviously, it's gonna be on the PS5, but It's gonna have enhanced qualities, and it's gonna have better AI, and it's gonna run 4K. Believe me, I see that coming.
PSSR baby, away. Let's go.
PSSR. It's got boost mode. It's got all the gadgets. It's got all the goodies.
Well, if it's not that, it'll be another remake of a game that we have already seen. If not that, or maybe it will be Bloodborne, since I know people have been begging for this game to make a return. So we'll have to wait and see.
I like what Barry says here. Who needs more games when you can have more CUDA cores? The CUDA cores
dance
industry.
Oh god, yeah. So that's pretty much who I think. I think that's going to be the selling point, because they can't. Obviously, I'm saying this, and then it'll happen. But just this can't release. God damn it, I'm doing it. This can't release. They can't release a freaking console and not show anything. They gotta have something. 1 hour and 10 minutes.
Let's go. No, you're right about that. I will say though, anecdotal stuff, just based off what I've seen in our Discord, the chat. Most of the the Throwdown crew is like, we're good. Only one that's really hyped is our boy Frankie.
Well, that's because Frankie's got an unlimited supply of money.
Yeah, exactly. Like my man, with the tech. But no, the rest of the guys are like, they asked the question Rich did: what games are you gonna get for this? There ain't nothing coming out. Sony said this, so it's not like we're being negative, Shit is crazy, man. All right. Speaking about craziness, this one is very interesting to me. And just bear with me, because you guys, it's funny, man. I'm reading this from IGN here. The Will Smith fronted zombie survival game Undawn bombed, according to a new report. Has anyone ever heard of this game?
No.
I don't even know. Brian, look at the show notes.
Yeah, Brian, have you heard of this?
No.
Even Brian's never heard of this shit.
Hold on. Big Willie Smith of the video game?
Yeah. That's why in our show notes I wrote Undawn, a game you've never heard of, bombs. Gee, I wonder why it bombed. That was the mass consensus on Twitter. People were like, huh? What? What?
I mean, I'll be honest. I don't like to wish ill will on anybody, but ever since I heard the Will Smith biography written and narrated by Will Smith, who unironically refers to himself several times throughout the biography as Big Willie Smith, I think I can vote and cheer for failure here on this one. So. Yay. Well,
I just have one question. Since this game was a flop, is Will Smith going to slap all the people that worked on this game?
No, they just fucked his wife.
Well, I'm gonna say this.
Did they say her name?
Yeah, right.
It's a zombie.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
I'm gonna say this. This game wasn't on anything of worth.
Yeah. Keep my game's name out your motherfucking mouth.
And also Undawn. Undawn was like an end of the year thing.
What platform? PC and mobile.
It's on PC. Yeah, PC and mobile. So it's like nobody cares about that. Will, come on, Will.
Oh, that's a fucking lie. IGN, I'm sorry, that's a lie. I gotta read this. PC and mobile game Undawn launched in June to much fanfare. Bullshit! No one heard of this game. What are you talking about?
Games every week. We've never heard of this.
We this is literally our job. Ask the Throwdown fans. They're even more hardcore than we are. None of those motherfuckers have heard of this game.
Because it's not.
Who's fanfaring?
Yeah.
It's not even in any sort of wheelhouse that any normal player would care for.
What kind of game is this?
I don't think Jaden Smith even knew about this.
You know?
Yeah. Their launch trailer came out in
the Tencent
late
game. Interesting. 2020.
yeah.
So
Tencent. There you
maybe
go.
it had a fanfare in a different place.
Maybe. Yeah. Right. Shit.
Maybe it was
Tencent.
promoted that way.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's remember ad campaigns and commercials and stuff like that promoting in different places with celebrities. And it's like, oh, you did a Japanese commercial over there?
Yeah, right. Like Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'm in Japan. I want to read this line. This is funny. Reuters said Undawn, which it described as a quote key in-house developed game from Tencent, flopped spectacularly, despite being endorsed by Hollywood star Will Smith and with an alleged budget of one. Okay, calm down there. When I saw that billion, Juan, so we know where that's coming from. I'm not talking about Juan down the street. I'm talking about Juan. Cost $140 million. Sources told the publication Undawn had more than 300 developers. What? Jesus. And no one's heard of this fucking game.
I just checked up some gameplay footage, and oh boy, it's definitely a mobile game. I'll tell you that much.
What?
And
man,
and based on what you said, Tony,
yeah.
like this was 300 people and cost 140 million. But it just makes me wonder, where did the money go?
I
don't know.
Oh,
Seriously, like it looks like an acid flip of some sort. Like it looks it almost looks on the same level as PUBG, which is really strange. Because I'm like, how is it looking this bad? But then it's like, okay, it's a mobile game, fine, but still, it's just kind of like, oh gosh, it's like the more we know about it, like the worse it gets. But then, I just had a realization, this is still available. Well, it's free to play, but still available on like that, was it not The Last of Us? The Last Day or whatever it was? You know that one game that came out in December for 7 days and then disappeared?
Which one was that?
We all know it. We all talked about it, but we all just forgot about it.
Yeah. But we at least talked about it. Yeah. I know what you're talking. I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Where it came and went. Yes, I do remember that. It came out and then just went away. But at least we heard about it and we talked about it. With this one, it's like, what? Didn't the game start with an A or something, Brian?
I don't know. Disappeared. But I'm just surprised that, again, even I had to ask myself if I remember the name, and I was like, I really don't remember this. Again, like Will Smith, like I would have remembered it. It's Will Smith, like one of the biggest actors, but no, nothing.
That's crazy to me, man. But yeah, it launched so much fanfare. Okay, bro. What fans? There's a cinematic trailer here. Here we go. Is this going to show? Oh, that's a cinematic. It's not going to show me gameplay.
No,
Will Smith is not in that trailer.
He's in the thumbnail though.
Oh, is he in that one?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, here I'm going to tell you this. Like, Will Smith's image is involved, but Will Smith may not be involved.
Yeah, he just endorsed it. That's what it is.
Well, no, it's they probably purchased his likeness rights.
Yeah.
So getting the an actor's likeness rights, which is like having their characters show up, that is totally different than getting them to do a full on performance. I don't think he's doing any sort of performance in this. I think his recognizable face is on it. Yeah. And they flip him a little likeness licensing fee. It's kind of how like they used to do those Walking Dead games.
It's just a CG version of him. That's all it is.
Yeah. Well, no, it's.
I'm watching the trailer now. Yeah.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is it's how they're able to do those X-Files license games and have all the actors in it, but none of the actors are actually playing themselves.
Yeah.
Or a couple of other games where like you'll see the character in there, but they're not actually playing themselves. It'll sound alike playing them. That's what it is. You can get the likeness rights to any actor if they, obviously if their management agrees and they agree, and it's usually not nearly as expensive as hiring them for full performance. There's like different tiers when it comes to performances and likenesses when it comes to famous actors. So you can get the rights to do a famous actor's likeness, and then you have a sound alike walking around like, hey, how's it going? Like, you know, essentially doing a Will Smith impression to kind of sound like him.
I'm going to read this, Barry Burton. This is a story all about how my game came out and no one is around. Big Willie.
I mean, it's obviously it's not his game. His name is connected to it, but it's really a Tencent game.
Yeah, pretty much. So there you go. A game you never heard of has bombed. Surprise. All right, and the last thing we're going to talk about, Manny, thank you for bringing this to my attention. Shinji Mikami, people, has created a new studio. So what can you tell me about this?
I mean, there's not much. People just found it on the not the Evil Within. What's that game? The Grasshopper manufacturer game that came out with Shinji Mikami and Suda51.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
That game is getting like a new fancy remaster.
Yeah,
I guess apparently
which is crazy. The game came out in like 2000 whatever.
Oh, you mean Shadow of the Damned?
That's it.
That one.
Shadow of the Damned is getting a remaster. Apparently, they Grasshopper was able to get the rights to that game back from EA because remember that was an EA game. So it's getting it. It was actually at you could play it at PAX East. They had a booth. So but on their website, it says Shinji Mikami because he was a part of making the game, and it said formerly created Tango Gameworks, who created The Evil Within, and he was executive producer on Hi-Fi Rush, the critically acclaimed Hi-Fi Rush, and then they say he has since left Tango Gameworks and created a new studio, and we never saw this anywhere. Yeah. Except for this website, except for the Shadow of the Damned website. So I'm like, it's very interesting that he decided to walk away and then come and then make a new studio. Makes me think that maybe he wasn't too keen on being owned by a big company like them. If you notice, like, Shinji Mikami actually sort of took a backseat at Tango Gameworks. Those games, was Ghostwire? Did he direct Ghostwire?
I'm not sure if he directed it, but didn't he?
I don't know if he directed it either. Yeah. I know he did. I know he directed The Evil Within, but he didn't direct the Evil Within 2. That was John Johannes, the director of Hi-Fi Rush. So maybe maybe he wasn't liking the situation. He wanted to continue to stay an independent studio on his own.
Yeah,
maybe just make games.
Yeah, director of Ghostwire Tokyo was Kenji Kimura.
Yeah, so there you go. So he was just a producer role. So maybe
he's not even a producer in this game. Interesting. Like I'm looking at that he's not even involved in this.
Yeah, so maybe it's like a situation kind of like the way what Hideki Kamiya left Platinum, who also says he's going to make something new too. So maybe they just don't want to be like these big companies. Maybe they just want to be like a small studio, just doing fun stuff. So who knows?
Yeah, pretty much.
He hasn't fully said anything about it yet. So, but I'm guessing now since the cat is out of the bag with that thing, they'll be like, all right, time to talk.
Yeah, because there's a bunch of major sites talking about this. But should be exciting stuff, man. All right, and we should probably talk about Dragon's Dogma 2. Review embargo has lifted, and people seem to be loving it. So, Rich, what can you tell me? I think you've been playing it, right? Or the Coalition has been reviewing it.
By the way, real quick, 87 on 87 on Metacritic, so pretty successful.
Woo!
That's crazy.
That's very good. Well, unfortunately, I do have the game now. I have not been playing it. I can say that we do have another person on staff that is reviewing this game. But glad to see that it's getting high praise. I know that Brian is very excited. So, yeah, I probably will definitely talk about this on a future show because I am going to definitely jump into it this weekend.
Nice. But Brian, you're the resident Dragon's Dogma guy here. What do you think of the reviews that are out there right now?
Those good when a game that you like or a sequel to a game that you like gets good reviews. So yeah, it seems to be rubbing people the right way, which is good. The last piece of media that I did see, that I noticed was the Sphere Hunter came out and had a YouTube video saying that Dragon's Dogma 2 is actually good, you guys. And I was like, see, I know that that's probably a trustworthy thing to say, and it's a game that I'm looking forward to, so I'm happy that she's saying it, but at the same time, she's affiliated with the game, so her opinion means nothing to me. It's kind of funny. It's like,
that's like, hilarious.
It's all pointing good things, but it's like, but you were they reached out to you to do something for the game, so no matter what you say about the game, I'm just assuming that it's paid for, so it doesn't matter. But at the same time, other people have been saying that it's really good, and judging by the traction on Twitter and all the random clips, it seems to be doing really quite well. So that's also like another metric that I use, just how much Twitter engagement is it getting,
Yeah.
So yeah, it's great. Can't wait to play it. Probably will do it over the weekend, and yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. Go ahead, Rich.
I was just going to make a quick comment because I saw Carlos said it got a 87 on PS5. Well, it got a 90 on PC. So clearly, PC version is the best version. We already know this. Brian can confirm this. So I just want people to be aware of that before they pick this game up.
Oh,
that's funny, man. Yeah, I've seen the clips, because remember, a lot of this stuff is, it's not scripted. It just happens, So saw this one clip, like your party's on like one side of a ravine. There's like a cyclops on the other side. This motherfucker's trying to come to you, and he slips, and he like grabs onto the ledge. So he basically became a bridge. So man walked over the cyclops, chopped out his foot, and the fucking cyclops falls. It was hilarious, And again, not scripted. It just happened, And then there were some other things, like I saw like somebody like noticed like, oh, notice how the music like just ends when you like kill a monster, like to just emphasize the kill. I'm like, yeah, that's some dope shit, man. So it's good that people are enjoying the game, And I'm
Monster Hunter did that too.
Yeah,
remember Monster Hunter World did that too, where like the when you defeat the monster, the music would end, and then you would get the kind of winning music or whatever.
Yeah. So it's good stuff, yeah. So yeah, Monster Hunter, obviously, Capcom. So this is RE engine now, not MT Framework.
Yeah. No, but I mean, I feel like a lot of the Capcom for years has sort of tried to make that Monster Hunter sort of gameplay loop sort of work in other games. Like they tried it on Lost Planet. They tried it with and I feel like Dragon's Dogma also sort of inherited those Monster Hunter isms. So it doesn't surprise me that it just definitely feels like a little bit more of a anything can happen sort of Monster Hunter, but with Western fantasy stuff elements.
Yeah. So yeah, good stuff, man. Let's end with what we have been playing lately. So, Rich, I'll start with you. What have you been playing lately that you're allowed to talk about?
All right, that's a great question. I have been playing Rise of the Ronin.
Ah, yes.
Now, let me just say this. I am aware that reviews are out there. I'm still working on my review because I had a very crazy work week. So many other things I had to do at work. So my review will be up soon. But I will say this, just to echo off of what I said on the last show. I think the game is pretty good. Obviously, I am a Ghost of Tsushima fan, so this is not Ghost of Tsushima. Obviously, it's not. It does have some flaws, but overall, I think the game is okay. And I believe somebody asked me if I was to score this game, what would my score be? I would say maybe about a 7.5. You know, I could see somebody giving it an 8, but I will say this: anyone that gives this game a 9, I would have to ask them why. Because again, if you're comparing, if you're comparing it to some of the other games out there, especially Ghost of Tsushima, that's on another level. In my opinion, that's at the very top of the list. This is on a list, but it's nowhere close to this game. That's just my opinion. But yeah, I had a ton of fun with the game. I'm still playing through some parts of it, so stay tuned for my review. Outside of that, a little bit of WWE 2K24.
What a game!
Yeah, and it sounds like our very good friend Adam Vale is very frustrated with this game right now. So 2K needs to get it together with some of these things. I mean, they have dropped the ball on some stuff with all these patches. So. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have been playing for now. No surprise announcements yet, but although that may change in the future. I'll have a lot more to say about other stuff if I get it early, but there's no other games right now. And of course, yeah, Dragon's Dogma, I did get access to that, so I'll be able to talk about that in the future as well.
Yeah. Chris, what have you been playing lately?
Oh, hey, just still a little bit. I've been pretty busy, but been playing a little bit of Pacific Drive. I think I'm 2 trophies away from the platinum for that. That's all I'm working on right now, just trying to platinum that and then move on. But yeah, it's fun, but it's very repetitive now, where I'm just like, so it's kind of a slog to get through it, but I'm doing that.
Cool. Brian?
I actually have not been playing anything, just been on that grind set. But I have been watching Pluto, and
excuse me?
I'm very annoyed at you, Manny. Why didn't you tell us to watch this even more than what you did?
Manny, you're
on mute, Manny.
I told you guys to watch it, but when it comes to
why didn't you push harder, Manny, man?
Push hard. I said you really gotta like it. Listen, I've been pushing Hi-Fi Rush all this fucking time. How come y'all haven't beat that game yet?
What's Hi-Fi Rush?
Yeah, see,
It's on Game Pass.
it is.
That's gonna be on PlayStation.
It is on PlayStation.
But yeah, I've
It's a good show.
I think I've watched like 3 episodes, and I'm just hooked. It's weird. Again, as Manny said, each episode is 1 hour long, but yeah, it somehow hooks you like the whole time. It's weird. Mm-hmm. So yeah, if you haven't watched it, then watch it because you should. Yeah, so that's a brand endorsement.
It feels like a trip back, to older sort of cyberpunk stuff.
Yes.
This was what made in that era, when Ghost in the Shell was really big and a bunch of other things. So it's a really cool interpretation of the Astro Boy story.
Cool.
Yes, it was also quite funny because I got to the point where, without spoiling stuff, there was the little girl that meets the homeless guy underneath the bridge, and my girlfriend walked in, and she was very, very confused as to what I was watching.
Yeah.
And I was like, no. It's fine. She's a robot, and then she just looks at me and is like, "Yeah, that probably makes it even more weird." So I'll just stop talking and let her watch it.
So you don't understand. She's 1,000 years old, Brian.
She's not a real girl. She's a robot, and he's also a robot. And you know what? Yeah, the flowers make no sense. So yeah, definitely well worth it. It's I don't know what it is about it, but I'm just really enjoying it. I don't know. Again, it's not my usual thing. I'm usually a big fan of shonen, but it's
intriguing because it's literally a detective plot.
Yep.
So,
cool.
Yep.
Anything else, Brian?
Nope, that's all. It's endorsed by Manny, endorsed by me. So, yep.
Cool.
If you have Netflix, watch it.
Brett, what you got?
Nothing. I've been working.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? That's not true. I've been back going playing Baldur's Gate 3 again.
Yeah. As for me, I'll explain a little bit why I haven't been playing, but I did sneak in 1 hour tonight of some Dragon Ball Kakarot, man.
Good on you.
Yeah, gotta honor Akira Toriyama, man. You know.
Oh yeah.
This isn't gaming related, but I've been pushed to the limit, people. American comics have gotten so bad. I started reading manga. I'm reading black and white books backwards, people, because comic books have been so fucking bad in America. You know, so I'm reading Dragon Ball. I've never read Dragon Ball, the original Dragon Ball, and it's pretty dope. You know,
yeah, it's fun.
Yeah,
it's a fun book.
The only thing is, I need a better device to read it on. My Kindle, it's too small for the screen, and the iPad Pro is too fucking big. So I got to find a nice sweet spot because I wanted to match the. What's the name of the Takanbon? Like, the anime, manga, like whatever books. I wanted to match that size. So I think the iPad mini may be it. It's a little smaller than that. Or maybe the 11-inch iPad Pro. What's up, Brett?
I got one of those. I actually like it a lot.
The iPad mini, right?
Mini.
Yeah, you throw one of them, one of those rugged cases and just kind of have it like to toss around the house in lieu of a cell phone, set it up. I'm talking on it right now while I'm working.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's like if I have something that I could hold in one hand, that'd be great, like a Kindle. But it's like Kindle manga doesn't look good on it. It's like the inks aren't dark enough.
Even the new ones.
Mm-hmm, even a new one,
Even the new ones.
Yeah, the inks aren't dark enough.
Color now.
No, the Kindles don't do color.
Oh yeah,
no,
there's a color one.
No, there isn't. No, there isn't.
Yes, there is.
No, Manny, there is not.
Yes, there is.
Okay, link it to me, please, because I literally review these things. Okay, link it.
They haven't. Here's the thing: like, there's a few of them that are in China, and there hasn't been any in the States.
So
like, there's
count.
quite a bit of them.
Manny, hold on, wait. Are you confusing Kindles with e-ink readers? Because there are plenty of color e-ink readers. I'm talking about Kindle that Amazon releases. I'm talking about the Kindle.
Oh, okay, yes. I'm confusing it.
See, I knew it. I'm like, Manny, there's no color Kindle. People have been asking that shit for years, Mm-hmm. And the rumor is, in 2025, maybe one, but those kind of rumors, e-ink color readers been around forever. I've reviewed some of those myself, but not the Kindle. The Amazon Kindle, there's no color version.
Yo, Tony.
What's up?
Isn't there a Kindle that's like 9.7 inches?
The Scribe, is that what you're talking about?
Yes, the Scribe.
Yeah, but that shit is like $300. I'm like, fuck that shit. Okay. But then again, here's the funny thing. The iPad mini is probably more than that, but I get more utility out of it, I could also read regular comics on it.
That makes sense.
But yeah. But I mean, if they had like an 8-inch Kindle, that'd be dope, but they don't do that. So yeah, some little Dragon Ball, but probably won't be playing many games, but I'll get to that in a bit. Carlos, have you been playing anything?
No, similar to a lot of you guys. This week in particular has been really busy, so haven't had a chance to play anything. To do a Brian tangent, I've been watching Shogun, which is freaking awesome, man.
That show's dope. Yeah,
it's dope. It's got it's. The setting is perfect, the way that they did that world. So anybody that's interested, it's good. It's got my stamp of seal of approval. I've been watching, obviously, Invincible since it's come back. First episode is really good. So for those that need to catch up, that's a pretty good episode. And something that will get plugged in when the show ends by Mr. Richard Bailey Jr.
Cool. Maddie, have you been playing anything lately?
I have. I've been playing Hi-Fi Rush for PlayStation 4. I'm at 5.
Oh, excuse me?
Yes. Yeah.
How is it compared to what you played before?
It's actually so I played it on PC. There's quite a bit of a difference. Obviously, because it's not a PC version, you don't have control over the they don't give you control over resolution. You only get a 60 frames per second.
I heard about that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's literally, but it's such a. I feel like the game is such a lightweight game. You don't need to know like a resolution thing. I think it runs at a really high resolution at 60 frames per second. It looks really good on my TV.
My TV.
And the one big thing and that I appreciate, and because I don't have a solid state drive inside any of my computers, or even my work PC that I was playing it on when I originally played it, there's still actually quite a bit of load times in that game. But on the PlayStation 4, and I'm sure on the Xbox, it runs pretty quick. It's pretty snappy. I'm surprised that it just you can literally just jump back, and it gets like the resume feature works on it pretty good. It takes you right to where you need to be. So the loading times are really good on it. So yeah, it's as I remember, except it's got the DLC all packed in. And this is also I made a joke about this on my Twitter a lot long ago. Officially, Hi-Fi Rush is my only Bethesda game. I've never bought a Bethesda game before.
That's funny. There you go, man.
And that's a Bethesda light game.
Yeah,
it's not even really a Bethesda game.
It's not
at
all.
Really
it's
just like
published.
Yeah. So. They did a really good job, and I'm sure I don't think that game had any sort of issues porting it over and all that stuff. So does all the same stuff. My only question about it, and I'm sure nobody's really, I haven't seen anybody ask this question, but I even asked it at the time on my Twitter account too. If you have a Bethesda account, can you roll over your save from the Xbox? Some games do. Some games don't seem to, because I don't know. I don't know. Like I've never had a Bethesda account, and I heard some Bethesda games actually do a rollover save. Some like from PC or other versions. So, but yeah, I don't know.
That's interesting.
Nobody's been able to answer it.
Yeah, I've played most of the, if not all of the mainline Bethesda games, and I've never even heard of a Bethesda account.
It's on the main menu. It says Bethesda.com on there, and it says log in. Most games got it.
Maybe Starfield had it, and I just ignored it. Yeah, I usually do that. I did that for Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk has that stuff.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, like a lot of those companies have their little login dealies. So yeah, I'm like, how does this? Do I log in and get something, or what does it do? So nobody's been able to explain that. That's my only gripe with this thing. It's like, okay, granted, it's not a big deal for me to play the game because I already know how to play the game. So that's fine. Good game. You should play it.
Yeah.
Either if you have an Xbox, if you have it on an Xbox, if you have Xbox Game Pass, you play it on there, or actually support the developer and buy it.
Is it on Switch too?
No, it's not on
Switch.
Not
yet. Okay.
I thought it was.
It was never. It was never even announced for Switch.
That was the rumor, though. Remember?
Here's the thing. The rumors is on Switch. Well, if I could say, if anything, it could run on the Switch Pro. If that rumor is real.
Yeah.
But I think the original Switch probably might not be able to run it. But I look at that game and I feel like a PlayStation 4 could run it. If
probably could,
maybe not.
Yeah.
I mean, like the Xbox Series S runs it, right? I don't know.
I'm assuming so.
Just runs it at a lower resolution and frame rate, but yeah.
All right, man.
That's what I've been playing.
Cool. All right, about to wrap up, but I need to make an announcement. Not a good announcement, but it has to be done, and that's why I had to be here. But I want to say up top, this is not permanent. It's just a little while. So your boy, me, I have to take a hiatus from Throwdown for a while, man. Unfortunately, my mom is about to pass away. We're doing the whole hospice thing with her. So I want to just be there for her, during the last weeks or months or whatever that she has. So, I can't be staying up fucking 2 nights a week just, like if you see me during this whole episode, I've been tired of shit because I've just been going to the hospital and stuff. So no podcast of it all. I'm not going to be going out. Like I just want to spend time with my mom, so, leave the show in capable hands, obviously. But I'm still going to do the MP3 part, obviously. I'll still do that because, I enjoy doing that stuff. But it's just staying up till like 2 a.m. doing a fucking podcast while I'm, busy with all this other stuff. Can't be handling. So I'm going to be back in Queens, actually. I mean, I live in Queens now, but it's Long Island City. It's fucking Manhattan, basically. I'm going to go back there so I could be closer to mom and, take care of that on my end. So apologies for you guys who will miss me for a while, but I shall return. Your boy will be on, but that also affects the Invisible podcast. If these guys want to do it without me, that's fine. But I haven't even seen the fucking episode yet, or episodes, I should say. I think the second one just dropped. Having that time, just been doing that, and even with work, I'm going to be working, obviously, but I'm only going to office like once a week, so shit is real, man. Everybody kind of has to face this eventually, different ways, obviously, but it is what it is, man. So there you go. So this will be my last round for a little bit, but I shall return, yeah.
It's our show has been around long enough to where a lot of these big things happen in our lives, it's like, with Brett, with, myself, and other people, and, having to move on and you do different things and handle things in their lives. But in general, it's like, handle your business, handle the things that you need to do, the more important things, and then come back when you're ready. And that's what you said to all of us when when these things sort of came up in our lives. So, we'll hold it down until you come back.
Yeah,
right?
Pretty much. Yeah. So that'll be good. Hopefully it'll be good stuff for you guys to discuss in the fucking gaming industry. I may still do the show notes. So I enjoy doing that stuff. It doesn't take me a long time, So maybe my hands will still be felt, the influence,
Now Tony's the puppet master.
Yeah, because there's something I was talking to Manny about. It's like, I mean, obviously Throwdown isn't work, but it still kind of is. Work has been very good at helping me kind of, not think about all this stuff with my mom, because it's brutal. You're losing your fucking mom, man. And then, kind of make sure the rest of the family are well. It's just been a little difficult because my family's, they're Catholic and religious, so they're taking it a way different way than I am. I'm being more practical about this shit. My mom's the same way as me, so we're both kind of on the same page. Like, okay, this is the end. This is what we need to do, but everybody is like kind of. So I'm trying to be supportive of them, But anyway, work has been, that's been a good mainstay. I don't know if it's healthy because I'm like, I looked at how much should I produce this week. This after learning my mom was going to die. I was like, damn, I'm kind of beasting right now at work. I come home, I'm like, I'll keep working, because I don't want to do anything else right now, So what happened, Brett?
The thing.
It's better than the quiet. That's all it is.
Yeah, man, and the quality hasn't gone down, so that's good. Because I was worried about, is this shit gonna affect my quality of work? No, it's just affected my sleep, obviously.
I find the safety, the consistency and the safety, the not the consistency, but the predictability of work and having that sort of structure has helped me over the years with certain things. But I also felt like sometimes in quite a bit of situations, it can become like a bad coping mechanism.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Where you overwork yourself.
Yeah. Yep.
And that's part of the reason why, 2008 or 8 when I got sick and was hospitalized, I was overworking myself. I was, there was a lot of things that were happening at that point in time. So, be careful about that stuff.
Yeah. Well, the good or bad thing, however you want to see it, it's like I went so beast. I don't have to do anything tomorrow. All my weekend shit is done. I'm like, okay, cool. And even tonight, I was like, all right, Tony, you're playing a game, bro. So that was good, But yeah, just letting you guys know. And obviously, I'm still going to be in the Discord talking shit. You know how I am. I gotta dunk on these fucking Alien remakes and X-Men and all this other bullshit they're putting out there. I'll still be doing it. I still got to be a hater, Although I will say I just saw a clip from X-Men 97. Okay, Cyclops was using his optic blast in a way I've never seen in a comic book, but it makes sense because it's not a ray; it's a concussive blast. So he's using it to push himself around. I'm like, yeah, that makes perfect sense. Why hasn't anybody done that? It's not a heat ray; it's a fucking concussive means it's a punch. So when he shoots it out and it hits something, he gets pushed back too. Physics, people. So I'll commend the show on that. But yeah, so yeah, Tony will not. I won't be on Throwdown, but I'll still be around people. Hit me up on Twitter, and I'll still be on Discord talking shit. All right. Anyway, with that said, Rich, what do we have to plug, sir?
Well, before I plug, I want to wish you well as Tony, as well as your family. Obviously, we will definitely do what we can to hold down the fort.
Yep.
But yeah, take the time you need and just take care of yourself, as Manny said, 100%.
Yeah.
As for the plugging, we have this award-winning show called The Walking Dead: The Ones Who Live. This is
Oh,
I know Carlos said that Shogun is his favorite show, but come on, Carlos. Don't lie to the people. We know that you love this Walking Dead show, even though I think it's complete garbage. But hey, listen, our I Am Negan show is off the chain. I like that we're able to talk about this show. I know, so obviously, if you want to hear our thoughts on the show, we'll be recording the next episode this weekend. Stay tuned for that. As for other stuff, as I mentioned earlier, there's a ton of reviews we're working on at the Coalition as well for games, so on and so forth. So stay tuned. And there'll be some other things coming down the pike. But yeah, it's a very busy time of the year. So just stay tuned for some more content.
Good stuff. Oh man, it seems people don't like the new Ghostbusters. That's not good.
Oh well, the review embargo lifted today, or hours ago, and the movie comes out this weekend or something like that.
No es bueno. I'm assuming the same rule applies to movies as it does to games when it comes to embargo times, Carlos.
Yeah, it seems very plausible.
Shit.
Yeah, they probably if they wanted to release closer to the thing, so it might mean that they don't have a lot of faith in it. So
yeah.
And yes, this weekend the movie comes out.
That's crazy.
45%.
I mean, here's the thing, though. I'll tell you this: unlike the video game industry, reviews don't have a lot of heft over the success or failure of a film.
Oh yeah.
If people
look at the Transformers franchise for proof of that.
Yeah, look at the Transformers franchise. Has constantly gotten bad reviews over the years, and it's done. It's $1 million franchise. A lot of classic films that you may know of from the past have also gotten bad reviews. Like films like the John Carpenter's The Thing, and quite a bit of Arnold movies have gotten bad reviews.
Yeah.
So again, I would say, just like in anything, if it's something that speaks to you, go see it. If it doesn't, don't see it.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, there you go.
It's funny because I'm reading this one review right now, and this dude, obviously just from reading this, he's about the message.
God damn it!
But
Ghostbusters doesn't need a fucking message.
Yeah, but so. This intro is just fucking tripe. He's basically virtue signaling the 2016 movie. Okay, bro. That's a setup to why this.
Why is that a hill people want to die on?
I don't know, man.
So terrible.
Yeah. So he's basically. It seems like he's using that as a springboard to dunk on this new movie.
Why?
You see what you're about, bro.
But why? The main character is Egon's granddaughter. You have one of their friends is I don't know. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of stuff there. I just feel I don't know. I don't understand why The Hill has to be that specific movie.
Stupid.
The movie works and it's progressive. What's your problem?
Yeah.
All right, but it's not this.
The last one was decent.
Yeah.
The last, Afterlife or whatever the hell they called it.
Well, that's why I guess that's why you got a sequel. But yeah, it's not. I just thought that was interesting. All right, man. We are done here, so make sure you follow Throwdown on Twitch and Twitter. Join the Discord where the conversations and the rumors are always popping. Shout out to you guys for posting all that stuff every week. Literally every single topic here, with the exception of the Shinji Mikami topic, was from you guys. So shout out, man. Although I think you guys discussed it too, but Manny, I noticed that story came very late in the day. It kind of just came out of nowhere.
It's because somebody went through and looked at the friggin' shadows of the damn site and went, wait a minute.
Excuse me?
Kind of like when I looked at the former Konami guys, was it LinkedIn, and noticed that he was the president of Kojima Productions, and they never did a official announcement.
Yeah.
He's a former head of Konami Europe. So yeah, sometimes you just gotta look. You might find something interesting.
Gotta dig some stuff, man. Speaking about that, you know how the U.S. government is suing Apple now, which is fucking insane. So we've been going. It's like an 88-page document. We've been going through it. And there was one part where somebody, I think it was like a senator or something, had said because Apple and Android phones don't really play well. So he's like, the guy, speaking about the green bubbles, he was like, yo, it sucks that I can't speak with my mom properly or whatever. And Tim Cook goes, buy her an iPhone. Like, damn. He's like, get her an iPhone. Jesus. Mm-hmm. We have a console for that. It's called the 360.
Don't show your phones.
Oh my God. Anyway, Throwdown, we're on every podcast app on the planet. Throwdown Show, that's towards Throwdown Show. Throwdownshow.com to listen to past episodes. And yes, even though I've been saying this for like 3 months now, we are back on YouTube. And shout out to you, the YouTube gang who's been with us tonight. So if you want to check us out, we will still be going live every Thursday and Sunday night at 10:30 p.m. Eastern, people. You already know, man. Links to everything down below. Once again, I was your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I was joined by Emilio Lopez.
See you next time. And J-Shep, I will have your package soon.
Yay. Chris Seeley.
Hey, take care, everyone.
Carlos Romero.
Peace out.
Brett Murdoch.
Deuces.
Richard Bailey Jr.
Have a good weekend, everybody.
And Brian Manjoma.
It's going to be a very good weekend for me.
Ooh. Is this something we're going to talk about off air? Oh, man.
Will Dragon's Dogma come out?
Yeah, that's Dragon's Dogma. Brian's gone. That's it.
He's actually not here already. This is just a hologram he left in his place.
Yeah. But remember,
Life Model Detour.
Yeah, but remember, Brian's so baller, he'll be playing Dragon's Dogma during the show. That's how he rolls. That's how he rolls. All right, guys. Yeah, what's up?
Oh, little known fact. This is Brian's pawn.
This is true. Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, Brian, what do you think? What are your thoughts on YouTubers as pawns? Oh, my God.
Didn't we answer this?
We did, actually. Oh, yeah, shout out to Cuban Boss. He apologized for not wording his answer, his question correctly. His question was just basically, how do we feel about, YouTubers in video games? But he phrased it as, what do you think about real life encroaching on video games? And we took it somewhere else. But he enjoyed the conversation, so that's what counts. Anyway, we will see you next time. And again, I will return in the future, people. So stay tuned. Later.
Peace.